Hi everybody, and a very warm welcome back to my wildlife art channel. And today I'm going to be doing acrylic. I'm going to be painting this lovely fox's eye with a bit of fur. So let's roll the intro and let's see how we get on. Hi everybody, and a warm welcome back. And as I said just now, I am going to be doing an acrylic for you, and it's going to be a fox's eye and the hair around the eye. Now the reason I chose to do that is that a lot of my students have been asking me how to create fur, how to create eyes that look realistic. Now the idea with this video tutorial is to simply show you that by using layers and color as well as glazes, you can create exactly what you want in terms of fur and eye. So without further ado, let's get right on and let's see how it's all done. Okay everybody, eyes down, let's get on with this beautiful little demonstration of a fox's eye in acrylics. Now the idea with this, as I've already said, is to demonstrate not just how to paint an eye and fur, but using acrylic glazes and also layers to develop the whole idea of painting fur and also the eye. Now the paper that I'm going to be using is a block of paper. This is part used, but you can see it's a block and it's gummed on all sides by a little bit where you can take the paper off when you finish. This is a oil paper. It's not oil primed, it's acrylic primed paper that you can then paint on in oil or whatever, but you can also use it for acrylics as well. In fact, you can use any surface for acrylic so long as you've prepared the surface properly with a bit of acrylic gesso to key it up and allow it to be more receptive to take an acrylic paint. Now this one, I've given it a couple of coats of a grey primer, mid-tone colour. Now this is simply a white paint or a white gesso with some black acrylic in, mixed up very well, well almost very well, and then a couple of applied coats on. Now it does, because this paper is a little textured and the painting or the brush marks that you leave is a little textured too, what I've gone over is a very light sanding down, and what that's done, you can see that I've already started doing this. But what it's actually done is it's given me a very smooth surface. So I'm just going to wipe that off before we start painting. There we are. Okay, so you can still see a little bit of texture through there, but it's nothing like how it felt just now before I started applying the acrylic to it. Now the brushes I'm using, as always, pretty much are Rosemary & Company. These are the evergreen brushes. They're a synthetic brush. They work very well for oils and also for acrylics as well. Now there's a variety of shapes in here. We've got a rigger, quite a thick one, but I think it'll do the job. We've got something here, should we need it, called a dagger. And then what I really like are the sort of long flats. I like the long flats, the long filberts, because they give quite a spring to the brush. Now if you want to visit Rosemary's website and order any brushes, whether it's watercolor, oil or acrylic or anything else, then simply when you get to the checkout, would you be so kind as just to put my name in the affiliate checkout part, just Paul Apps, unbroken capitals, and that would help me out a lot, but it doesn't charge you anymore for buying them. It's just simply a little thank you from Rosemary for me promoting them. And as I've always said, I never ever promote anything that I don't look at first and at least try. And I've been working with Rosemary's brushes for well over 20 years. So yeah, and I'm really happy with what I get from Rosemary. Now then, the paint palette is a Stay Wet palette. This is from a generic source. I'm not quite sure the actual name of it. I will put that in the description. But there is my palette of colors. I have, to a degree, I did actually, when I laid these ones out, I was trying to reduce the amount of colors I put out. I did nail it down to a few less, but I'm still, in my opinion, way too many. I've got so many colors in acrylics to choose from, and these are all Liquitex heavy body colors. I used to demonstrate for Liquitex many years ago, in the formative years of my artistry, as it were, and I enjoyed using their paints for many years thereafter. And I've come back to them after a break, and what I've got here just quickly for you is burnt umber, raw umber, burnt sienna, raw sienna, English light red. It's called light red, but it's an English light red. Sap green. I also need to get my hands on some Viridian or some phthalo green, but sap green is pretty much a transparent green, works very well. I've got one called indigo. Now, to me, that is more like a Prussian blue, to be fair. It's got quite a bit of yellow in it. I know indigo does, but this seems to have quite a lot. This is ultramarine blue, good old favorite. Cobalt blue, another favorite. This one is a beautiful turquoise. It is, I forget the full name of it, but it is a stunning turquoise or teal. Cobalt teal, sorry, not turquoise, cobalt teal. Lovely color. I use this one a lot in my oil paints as well. Here I've got dioxazine purple, and I've got some magenta and cadmium red light, cadmium orange, cadmium yellow light. Now I could have put cadmium yellow medium in there, but I figure I can get somewhere near it by mixing those two. And another good way of lightening some of these colors is to have Naples yellow there, instead of naturally using or jumping to the white. It will affect the color a little bit, but it has a real good way of lightening the color up without bleaching it out too much. So that's the palette. That's what we're going to use. Whether or not I use all of it in this painting, I have no idea. But I'm all set to go, so let's get doing a little bit of drawing. Now, as I always do, I will make the reference for this Fox's Eye available over on my Patreon. And as always, you do not need to be a Patreon of mine to use it and download it. Please feel free to go and have a look, check it out, and yeah, use it, have a go at it. The line art and the reference will be there for your use. While you're there, if you like the Patreon and you want to get involved, please feel free to climb on board. It doesn't cost very much, and you get new content every month. Or you can simply join for half the money and get my entire back catalogue of work prior to this year, and you've got everything there that I've done over the last 4 or 5 years. I think there's well over 200 videos, and that only costs you $5 a month. You can keep with that as long as you want to. Enough of the plugging. Let's get on and let's draw out this animal. Now I'm simply using a long flat for this, and I'm going to put in a generic dark, in as much as I am putting in some blue and some brown, just to see pretty much a dark color. Alright, okay, so now then, let's just put in an eye. I'm not going to make this too big a painting. I don't really need to. I just want to give you the idea. Excuse the pun. I'm going to come in here, and I am just, you see what I'm doing? There is, the eye is quite curved, but what I'm doing is I'm using a series of little dashes, little 50p piece sides, as it were, to formulate the shape of the eye overall. So once I've roughly designed the eye and I'm happy with that overall shape, then I use slightly darker paint to create a more firmer shape. I start rounding those 50p edges, as it were, to create the rounder shape to the eye, and as I really sort of concrete my ideas. And then I start putting in little furry marks around the eye to suggest the direction of the fur overall. Now I'm adding in a little bit of red, light red, and some burnt umber to create some initial colors over my drawing. Nothing special, just setting up the scene. Use a little bit of raw sienna, a little bit of the Naples yellow, and I'm just going to simply come in here and put in the outside of the iris, or the rest of the eye basically. There's not such an evident change in the eye like a human, where the iris is very obvious. I'm guessing that that dark is the or would be the iris. I'm not that expert at the anatomy of all animals. So the blocking is now pretty much complete with that last little passage around the eye itself. What I'm using now are the same colors, a little stronger, a little less water, but they are a layer. They are the next layer. The whole of this part of the painting with the hair is all about layers and more information that make the hair look like hair. I'm just coming in here, and I've got to say, this dagger really is just built for this task. So if you've got some of these daggers in your paint box, keep them nice and firm and fresh. Don't destroy them. As long as they've got a good point on them and a good edge, they will serve you well. Okay, now while I'm doing this, I'm going to give a bit of a plug for myself, if I may, and that is that a couple of years ago during lockdown, I used to do a lot of streams. I used to have a stream on my painting channel once a week, I think, and I think I did another one for my Patreon channel either once a week on a different evening, or indeed once a fortnight. I can't quite remember the actual stats, but I stopped doing it for a number of reasons, and one of those was time. I got very heavily embroiled in doing them, but also my gallery, because the lockdown ended, my gallery came back online. I had to go and open the gallery and work my business as I used to, and because of that I had less time for anything on the online strategies that I was working on. So yeah, in a nutshell, my streaming ceased. On top of that, I used to have quite a bit of problems with them, to be fair. Some of those friends or people that used to join it, and many of them have become friends, in fairness, many of them will remember and attest to the fact that we often had download, upload issues with the stream, which often caused a breakdown in the stream, and it got so frustrating. That was another reason why I called it a day. Okay, long story short, so the thing is that my technologies have improved, and I have improved my ability to use my streaming devices with better signal, etc., etc. And I'm hoping, and this is where I would like some comments from you guys in the comment section underneath this video. I would like to know if indeed you would like me to start streaming once again. Now, the subjects will always be wildlife, and if it's on YouTube, they will be about an hour long. They will be short paintings or parts of paintings, and they will not be full long paintings because they can take an awful long time to create, so you'll be half the night. But I'm also going to be all the ones on YouTube are going to be free of charge, no charge to come and watch those. I would love to have your company, and hopefully you'll learn something and you can ask questions, all these things that you normally get with a stream. But I also intend, for those who really like the stream, to start extending that service to a monthly webinar on my Podia site via YouTube. And so it will be an unlisted stream, but it will be tickets sold at £12 a ticket, and for that you'll get all the notes on that particular subject that we're doing that month. You'll get it ahead of time, you'll get the references, you get the details all ahead of time, and you'll be able, if you want to get yourself prepared to paint alongside me. So hopefully, if you're interested in that as well, please put that in the comments, and if I get enough interest, I will make that happen. I am quite looking forward to it, to be fair. I think it'd be a lovely thing to do, and to either just do once or twice a month on YouTube, and once a month for a paid webinar where you get up to a 3-hour session with me, where I sit, paint and talk and discuss every aspect of what I'm doing. I think it'd be nice. So let me know if you're interested. The mediums used will be a variety. because the subject genre will always be wildlife. But I will show you how I paint in all different mediums over time, I hope, not just oil or watercolor or acrylic or color pencil, charcoal pencil. Did I miss anything out? Gouache too. Whatever it is, I will use all of them to eventually build up a lovely setup where you get to see so many different subjects painted in so many different ways. And I'll do the same on my YouTube channel as well, but they will not be as in-depth, of course. I can't charge for one and give exactly the same to the free one, so there has to be a little bit of a trade-off, and that will be it. Hope you don't mind that too much. You'll see me tap a lot of times like that when I feel that I've got what I want, but it's just a little heavy. So just tap some off, just to relieve the pressure of it in the painting, so that that little tapping just takes away enough for you to carry on with. Okay, so I'm going around the whole of the painting and adding more and more fur, lighter fur upon lighter fur. Every successive layer I add a little less, because I don't want to overpower or diffuse the light. I want the light to be really concentrated where it's concerned. Now I'm adding in some of the real lovely light to the eye, the areas of light that really make the eye look glassy, and to that end I will be adding a few blue violets in here. That's where the light at the top of the eye is hitting the eye and giving it that glassy effect. We're going to add a lot more to it, but it's just a starting point. Just want to put a subtle glaze in here, maybe a bit more blue than I had. And I'm going to come in with a little bit more of a bluish glaze, lightening up this area somewhat. And it's not the lightest color we're going to put in here, but it's certainly a random blue color that is sort of somewhere in the middle of where we want it to be. Could do it being a little bit more blue. I think when it comes to putting this paint out on this surface, I made this surface just a tad too wet, and my paint is sliding a little bit quite thin. Not at the end of the world, just have to make allowance for it, that's all. All the time I'm looking to see where I can improve by adding a little tweak of color here and there to refine the eye and to really sort of make it look as though it is glass, it is liquid, and that's the whole idea. So these are a series of glazes opposed to layers. Keep waiting for it, because what I want to do really and truly is get in here with significant darks in here, enough to take this back to where I need it to be. I'm still not getting it. I come in with a slightly thicker paint, just come in here and just be very, very deliberate with that dark mark, just to bring it into play. And I want to come in here with some of that dark, because I've got the idea of eyelashes. Now I'm going to work back the other way at some point, and to put the blue into the eyelashes are literally looking like eyelashes and nothing more. Okay, so it's just all about the eyes and the T's, little areas of light flesh around the eye to give that little glow of light hitting the skin, and also final tweaks with regards to the eye itself. Little highlights here, a little stronger light there, a little bit of diffusion. Everything is aimed at those I's and T's, those final finishing points that you're looking for to make everything appear as real as you can possibly make it. I'm now actually refining even more highlights to the hair to do the same thing as I did with the eye. Lots of lovely hairs working some way, but they're all going in that direction. They're all going in a particular direction. And when you want less of them, just the odd highlight, paint less of them. Allow the colours underneath to suggest that the colour of the hair is changing, which it is. Earlier, I did mention to you all about the new streaming activities that will be on here on YouTube and also as webinars on my Podia site later on. But the first one of my new free to view streams will be on this channel on Sunday, the 12th of May at 7 p.m. British Standard Time. So if you are in America, I believe that will be around about 1 p.m. for you guys. So if you want to get involved and listen to it and enjoy it, you'd be most welcome, as well as anybody in the UK. But it will be a young lamb, which is right for springtime, and it will be an acrylic, and it will be the 12th of May at 7 p.m. Look forward to seeing you then. Okay, now if this was overall not warm enough, you can go over that with glazes. You can bring it up. These warm colors that I put in here, you could do more of that over. And I might just do that in this area here. I feel that I can come in with a slightly stronger orange color. And I'm going to just simply glaze in a little bit of, no, that's not a glaze, that's more like a dry brush scumble. Let's do that again. Come in with a little bit of orange. I'm going to use a bit of the red. That's better. Something like that. Take the worst out of my brush. I need to get some more paper. A little bit more water. That's better. I just want to put in a smear of colour. Just like that. I just added in a tiny glaze of slightly richer red-orange colours just to reinforce the area around the top of the eye. But I'm also adding in a few extra highlight hairs as well. All of it is adding depth and realism to the whole of the subject going forward. I'm quite happy with that. There's always something extra one can do, I'm sure. I keep looking at it, and in the fullness of time I might see something else. For instance, I'm just going to come in here, just add a little bit of light around this part of the eye here. Not too much, don't want to overdo it, easily done at this late stage. Just want to come in here and suggest the subtle changes in the eye itself. Every decision now is about making sure it's where I want this painting to be when I conclude it. In other words, the realism, the lights, the darks, the contrast, the glisten, the glow and the hairs. All of it has to be checked. Bad. I feel that there is slight difference here in the eye. I think it should have gone over a little bit that way, if I'm honest with you. Now maybe I can just change that at this late stage by simply coming in here and putting a few more hairs in here like this, and suggest the skin takes a slightly different angle on the eye itself. Don't want to come too far into there because we've done a lot of playing around with that. Just going to bring a little bit more into there and check what I'm seeing on my screen. I know what I can see as the photo, but I just want to check what I think that needs to go over a bit more dark. But let's just see if we can't make that happen. I'm just finally adding a few details to the area that I just changed on the dynamic and shape of the eye. Wasn't quite happy with it, but now I am, and I'm just finishing off. But I have got to stop fiddling. Okay, I'm going to stop fiddling. I'm going to be happy with that. Warts and all, whatever. I'm going to put a little signature here. There we go. Just a few final little bits and pieces that I'm putting in. Things that I've seen that I just want to make some little additional tweaks to. Okay everybody, one fox's eye and fur completed. I, as always, had a lot of fun doing it, and I really do hope you enjoyed the process that I showed you to achieve it. It's always trying to pick yourself to create that three-dimensional subject on a two-dimensional surface. It certainly drives me all the time because you never know if you're going to bring it off, and you do hope with every brush mark you make that you're going to end up bringing it off and making it look as you expect it to. But the thing is that this was a study. This was to show you the process of layering and of putting glazes on to change the effect and the outcome of the color of the subject underneath. And all of these devices, these methods of painting, will eventually bring your painting to a conclusion and make it look like fur and like a glazed eye. And at no point during the course of this painting should you really consider giving up, because it is merely a transitional stage. If you get to the point where it's too light, it's too dark, the drawing is not quite as it should be. And I met those points all the way through this demonstration. I changed this, I changed that. And you can do the same. You can paint light over dark in acrylic. You can paint dark over light in acrylic. You can alter the outcome and change the shape. It doesn't matter. It's not like an oil. It's not like a watercolor. So you have infinite possibilities to alter the outcome. So if you get to the point where you think you're going to stop, sit back, go and make a cup of tea, even go and have a dinner and take a couple of days rest. Come back to it with a fresh mind and take another look at it and carry on from there. And at the end of the day, you will win out. Now, as I said earlier, the reference for this and the line art will be over on my Patreon for you to pop on over there. As I always say, you do not need to be a patron to do that, but pop on over there, download it and use it. Have a go at it. Now, here's something else for you as well, and I don't always promote this, but there is a community over on my Podia. Now, the links to that are always going to be underneath this and any other of my videos as well. But if you hit that link, it'll take you to my Podia site and the opportunity to sign up for free content. And that free content is a whole mass of tutorials, and some of them have been out on YouTube in the past, some have not. But the thing is that they are free to you to have and to use and download, not download, sorry, but free to you to view and you watch anytime you like. And all you need to do is subscribe to the channel and become a member of the community. Now, the community is quite literally a place where you can meet other like-minded people, and at the same time you can upload the work that you do. Doesn't have to be from my work. If you want a bit of a help on something, then you can put it up there, ask a question, get answers, not always from me, but from other members on the community. It really is something that is growing. It's growing slowly, but it's growing steadily. And at the end of the day, what I'm looking to do is create a really healthy community of people who really want to be involved in helping each other and also helping themselves to learn more about painting and also showcasing the art that they create, whether it's from my tutorials or from any other method. Anyway, enough of that plugging. I'm going to simply get on with the next video and start thinking about what I'm going to do. I hope you're going to join me for that, and yeah, we'll see what happens. So in the meantime, wherever you are, stay safe, have fun, enjoy your painting, take care. Catch you all very, very soon. Bye-bye.